Monique Willis, and I'm going to do part 1 of the fetal pig dissection. Okay, first I'm going to start with when I took the pig out of the bag, I had to secure the pig so I could open up the limbs so you would be able to see. And I did that by tying a string around one side, coming up underneath, and giving another tie and securing on the other side. So I did that as an example over here. I've tied this side. I'm going to run the string up underneath where the pig is laying, and I'm going to give a tie here, and then I'm going to do another tie and tighten that, and that way it'll open up the limbs and you can see what I'm actually doing. Okay, I'm going to start by identifying the external anatomy, this being the head, and this being the trunk and the body. And then there are 4 appendages, the four limbs, 1, 2, and then 3, 4 are the hind limbs. And then last but not least is the tail. Then I'm also going to identify the ears, of which there are 2, also called the pinna. There's the mouth. There is the nose. And then there are the nostrils, these little holes in there, also called the nares. Then I'm going to identify the hooves, which there are 1, 2, 3, 4 on the forelimbs and the hind limbs. And then I'm also going to identify the umbilical cord, which is this structure right here. And these little bumps that are in a circle around here are called the mammillary papilla or teats. And then I'm going to identify the anus, which just below the tail, this opening right in there is the anus. And because this is a male pig, he has scrotum, which is located right there. And then his urogenital opening is right below the umbilical cord, is this little hole right there where you see the structure. Okay, now moving on, I'm going to go to the buccal cavity. And for this, I started with the pig's mouth, kind of affixed like that. And then I took the scalpel and I had to cut on the side just to kind of open it up, go a little lower there. And I did that on both sides. And then I could open it up here. And this is the tongue of the pig. And on the tongue, I have some more little papilla, and that's these little bumps on either side of the tongue there. And then also there are some baby teeth. They were pretty sharp. If you look right there's 1, 2, 1, 2 on that side. And then this is the hard palate, these lines and ridges, and actually it's hard. And just below that, the soft area right here, that's the soft palate. And then if you go, once I pull down here, there's a little opening. Actually, it's like the beginning, a little flap there, and that's the epiglottis, this little tubule little area right there. And right covering that, right in there at the start of that hole is the glottis. So the little protuberance is the epiglottis, and the right top, that hole in there, right at the top of going down to the trachea is the glottis. Now I'm going to get into showing some of the internal anatomy, specifically the diaphragm and the umbilical vein, as well as the abdominal cavity. So first, I'm going to start with an incision about right here and come all the way up to the chin. Okay. Then I'm going to start down here at the hind limb and come around the umbilical cord up here. Okay, I'm going to do the other side. Start from the hind leg, come around the umbilical cord on up here. Okay, a little tough there. Okay, as you can see, I'm cutting into the muscle. Careful not to go too deep. Okay, and then a skin there. Okay, cutting through here. And as well, I'm going to come on this side, doing the same thing, being careful not to go too deep. Wow, a lot of fluid here. Take some paper towels and kind of suck all this up. Okay. Wow. A lot going on here. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to continue cutting through right here. All right. A little high here. Okay. All right. Now, beautiful. This right here is the umbilical vein. This ties to the umbilical cord and the umbilical vein right there to the liver. Oh, and actually, a good job exposing. This is the liver, this little brown area right here. And this right above the liver is the diaphragm, sitting right there just above the liver. So it's the diaphragm right here. Get a good visual here. Kind of cut up high into that cavity. This is the liver, this area, this structure, and this is the diaphragm just above the liver. Kind of up there is hanging, and this is the umbilical vein. So I'm going to cut this in half just so I can kind of peel back and open up this abdominal cavity to show you this abdominal cavity. Here's this connective tissue right here on either side. We have the intestines here. I'm getting into a little much here, but this is the abdominal cavity. Again, I've cut the umbilical vein. This is the liver, and this sitting just right up above that is the diaphragm in the abdominal cavity.